from the book from Ramatis, Physiology of the Soul, and I will talk today about alcoholism. In English, but in, in last life, I was talking, reading about Ramatis, and the ultimate matter was: what valuable lesson can poets, philosophers, and artists bequeath to the world when to give humanity some brilliant works? They began precisely by writing the cowardly drama of abandoning their families. What glory can be attributed those who consumed dozens of liters of alcohol in the most irresponsible revelry when they are not yet capable of obtaining a liter of milk for their children? What is the value to the world thirsty for spiritual pets of the cheerfulness, the hymns, the concepts, the dots, and the literary graces, literary graces of those who sing in the epic of human life cannot sustain the joy of their own home? It was the final of the text I read about alcoholism in last life. The question as follows: do these men of uncommon genius, but bohemians and drunkards, also suffer when they discarnate the same consequences to which other victims of drunkenness are subject, but devoid of culture or talent? They ask, a cultured man, an intelligent man will suffer the same of the ignorant man. The two, the bottle, are alcoholics. Ramatis answer: we have already told you that addicts who pass through the world although producing benefits and therefore being protected against malevolent spirits are not thereby free from evils produced in the delicate fabric of the perispirit as a consequence of the ingestion of toxins. Truly wise men don't work truly wise men don't provoke. Let me see how much I appear to we don't have his. Truly wise men don't work against themselves, nor do they allow themselves to be ruled by the vices that depress humankind. In truth, the difference between the provisional intelligence of the material world and the definitive wisdom of the spirit, which is eternal, is still very great. Provisional intelligence is intellectual talent established in the configurations and experiences of the transient world of matter. Definitive wisdom is the immortal conquest of the spirit. It's their ancient memory existing since the origin of their consciousness and projected into physical life. Truly wise, therefore, is he who efficiently directs his life in the material world instead of being I change here. Instead of being merely uh, caught, moved by the deceptive circumstance of the temporary world of the flesh. The problem of spiritual bliss is therefore profoundly intimate and individual. Ever those problems we pass in this planet is individual. We never will can put the culpability in experience, evil persons, because we have choose. We must choose, and for our choose, we are we will ever responsible for this. Don't have in spiritual plane the justification. Oh, I was attached by that spirit. Oh, I was attached by bad friends. This is not exist in the spiritual world because you will be in front of your conscience, not God making this to you, not evil spirits, not bad friends. You will be in front of your own conscience. You like or not, you want this or not, is this that will happen. The problem of a spiritual bliss is therefore profoundly intimate and individual, for as the gospel says, each will receive according to their works. Almost always the Bohemian revealers awaking in the afterlife stunned and faithful and fearful before the grim and atrocious panorams they witness after bodily death. Faced with this implacable reality, all the glitz, all the glitz sarcasm and epigrammatic language with which they adorned themselves in the physical world of flee from them, becoming the converging center of admiration and devotion for a handful of enthusiastic followers. Of admiration and devotion for a handful of enthusiastic followers, but completely unaware of spiritual life. These are those who rebel and hone their irony under morbid criticism against the good czar of life and the creator, consumed morbid criticism against the goods of life and the creator, consumed by spite due to their intellectual frustration, which can lead them to swell the ranks of disembodied as drunkards and integrate into the midst of addicts who live in search of living mugs for the continuation of their alcoholic addiction in the lower astral plane. See, God will permit all evil spirits go until then will go. Have a limit, but God are those evils, making all evil they pretend make, but never they will left to receive against all evil they make, is the learn of the life and law of cause and effect. About through this spirit will change his way to see the light. Maybe it will take millions of years. We don't know. Is individual. All evolution is totally individual. Is the choose of the spirit. And the only thing I can see is will arrive the time that you will see. Stop. I want to construct now. I'm tired to receive this of life. Is this? There are those who rebel and hone their irony under spiritual life. There are those who rebel and hone their ironic under morbid criticism against the goods of life and the creator, consumed by spite due to their intellectual frustration, which can lead them to swell their ranks of disembodied ex drunkards and integrate into the mass of addicts who live in search of living mugs for the continuation of their alcoholic addiction in the lower astral plane. But there are all those who comes to their senses, quite repentant upon recognizing themselves as unhappy scarecrows, frustrated by their own intelligence, which seemed to them of great security in earthly world, but which shone only amnesty artifices, incapable of providing them with peace in the spiritual world. With peace in the spiritual world, despite their expertise in human experimentation, their quick wit, and their abundance of sharp epigrams. They need to learn on the right hand intended them by their abandoned spouse after their death, or even on the intellectually slow individuals who don't so underestimate on earth. They need to lean on the right hand extended to them by their abandoned spouse after their death, or even on the intellectually slow individuals who don't so underestimated on earth have achieved their equilibrium in the afterlife. Sometimes these intellectuals see religious people uh, with underestimated way. And exactly these individuals, sometimes artists, how these artists lose it, they will in the spiritual plane extend his right hand to help him. Or the spouse that was abandoned in planet to create his sons. And this starts the lesson of the life. Exactly who this uh, uh, intellectual artist underestimate will be these persons that will, in a state of desperation of this intellectual soul intelligence, will receive the help exactly by persons they underestimated in life on earth. Could you explain in more detail what you stated earlier about the care and protection that obsessors give to their living vessels? Ramatis answer. Reviving the legend that the devil always helps his godchildren. Obsessors surround their living vessels with all the care and protection within their reach. Given the multiplicity of attention, experience, and auscultations, which sometimes require years of work for the incarnate transform into alcoholic vessel, devoid of its own will. Its owners try to preserve it as much as possible from accidents, conflicts, and even illness that could define it to bad and prevent it from filtering the desired alcoholic beverages. Then they help it across bridges and dangerous places. They guide it through valleys and dark paths, striving to sustain it even in its vital forces. Hence, the surprise is very common when drunkards who seem unable to move find their way home and cross busy streets weaving between the fastest vehicles without anything happening to them. And the people always observant of certain inexplicable facts comment on this event with the saying children and drunkards, God protect them. But the truth is that they are not protected by God, but unfortunate living vessels who the disembodied owners carefully guide so as not to lose such admirable skills which cost them much time and effort. Other question, the ultimate question today. But how can it be explained that these obsessors lead their unfortunate addicts to extreme moral and physical misery, intoxicating them in such a way that they soon reduce their normal life expectancy? Isn't this a contradiction to the extreme care with which they try to preserve the life of their living stews? Answer, no. Ask the medium. Oh, the name. Ercilio. Ercilio, the medium, asked to Ramatis. It's not a contradiction. Bad spirits take care, but in the same time, they are retiring energy of this poor addict. And Ramatis answer. In private, two powerful forces incessantly struggle within the human creature, the creative energies of good and the destructive energies of evil. Man's consciousness has been the stage for the age-old struggles of these two opposing forces until good definitely triumphs and begins the ascent to the spirit and its consequent liberation from animal shackles. While the energies of good reactivate the spiritual nature, the destructive energy of evil weaken, repelled by the true individuality of, of the being the true individuality of the being, the angel. Therefore, certain creatures who lived enslaved to the most deplorable vices and incapable of any moral moral recovery rose from the mire when they were able to feel the spiritual calling or the warning cry of their own higher consciousness, managing the readjust themselves to their former human dignity, thus immunizing themselves against the vile attacks from beyond. Many of these regenerations have been possible under the influence of Spiritism and religious institutions through which many unfortunate living vessels. After those who have been uh, and have been indoctrinated have managed to immunize themselves against the action of their hiding master in the invisible world. Let me make something. The right here, the letter is so big, I have difficult to read. Let me turn this whole way. Therefore, certain creatures who lived enslaved to the most deplorable vice and incapable of any moral recovery rose from the mire when they were able to feel the spiritual calling or the warning cry of their own higher consciousness, managing to readjust themselves to their former human dignity, thus immunizing themselves against the vil attacks from beyond. Many of these regenerations have been possible under the influence of spiritism and religious institutions, through which many unfortunate living vessels, after those who have been indoctrinated, have managed to immunize themselves against the actions of their hiding master in the invisible world. The obsessors know this. Therefore, just as they protect their victims to keep them in the repulsive role of exotic living stills, they also keep them completely unaware of the dangers of alcoholic beverages. Although they recognize that in this way they shorten the life of their carnal vessels on earth. They prevent the forces of good from intervening in their awakened consciousness and managing to steer them away from alcoholic degradation. They work then so that the unfortunate alcoholics don't remain in possession of their reasoning for long, so that they don't need don't heed the hiding voice of their own soul or religious uh, indoctrinations. Let me see the next test. And this will finish. Only more bit and we'll finish this. And so obsessing spirits make every effort to distance their victims from orderly environments and friends who might influence them against alcoholism, becoming enraged when certain religious missions or members of the spiritualist creeds attempt to rehabilitate them. Sometimes they even go so far as to channel their own living smugs, hurling sarcasms, obscene remarks, or causing a disturbance in the spirit centers, temples, or places where well intentioned individuals gather to save addicts of all kinds. You know how difficult it becomes to guide one of these alcoholics to the any spirit's work aimed at rehabilitation, because even when they ardently desire to escape the terrible force that subdues them to alcohol, everything happens in such as irritating and humiliating way that it makes them give up to undertaking and even hate those who intend to save them from their dark fate. Is difficult because when bad spirits have control of this creature, the people must have all patience how the evils had to transform this man or this woman to addict, and is necessary patience and faith and ask help to God and good spirits to take this man or this woman to a group that pretend he tired this addiction and uh, conducting this man to a constructive life. But this man will support irritation and maybe humiliation that bad spirits put him. Nor good spirits make this, nor good people make this. Bad spirits make this person be in humiliation and irritation until this person desists to be helped. Is this they make? Then who will pretend stop to alcohol must be have great patience to who want help him. And he tired this possibility from evil attach then with prayers, with faith in God, frequenting good places, and ask help. Don't feel humiliated because this situation was you that provoked this. Then the addict must recognize the help of other offer. It's better have patience to who want the good of this addict than be hands off evil spirits that want slave and suck your energies, including. Now is finish this text. I hope you understand and more than understand. Put inside you the necessity of have a great linked with God and good people in this planet in religion, search one religion, and don't let this way to be out of the slavers. Is this? Have a good, marvelous final week, and God be ever with you. Let me see something. And thank you your presence. God bless all. And until the next video about the next is about cigarettes because I talk about meat, today alcohol and cigarettes. Ever I will post one by this addiction. And Kardec. Kardec, I said I made a video on Thursday. Search here, you will see. Until the next, and happiness, evolution, prosperity to all of you. Until the next. Uh, good, good weekend.